Deathstroke number 24, Christopher Priest writing, Diogenes Neves on art. So we had a little bit of follow-up for the whole Willow-Claire thing. Claire's been kidnapped, Willow's looking for her, she's like murdering her way through people, through the White Lotus to get to her. Because obviously the grocer was killed, and we find out his son is referred to as the Forgotten. He's the one who doesn't want any part of this, and he goes to Deathstroke for a bit of help. Deathstroke's like, nah, I'm not taking anyone out because I don't do that anymore. But the main chunk of the issue, though, is Wally West, new Wally West, and I was actually a little bit surprised as I was reading this issue that they didn't push this. And obviously, it turns out at the end that it was just blanks and it was just Deathstroke testing Wally. But when the issue got going and there was a sniper on a roof, like firing bullets into a crowd, I was like, oh dear, this feels like, I don't think they needed to, but I was like, man, I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't. The issue itself was really good though. Wally like running up to stop him, like that action stuff was really fun. It was nice to give Wally a bit of spotlight. But this is probably the funniest issue Deathstroke's had. I was cracking up constantly because Wally was recording himself all the time. He's been like being kind of secretive and recording these conversations.
He's a spy for the Teen Titans on Deathstroke.
And Deathstroke, sort of after this takes place, it keeps flipping back between present day and like the past when he's like playing these recordings, and he keeps playing these really embarrassing recordings. He's talking about how Power Girl's really hot. I mean, he thinks he likes Raven, but Power Girl's really hot and she's got a good ass. Like he says something like that, and you just see like Power Girl's reaction. It was funny stuff. And then it's like he goes through all the characters. Like he was with Joseph when he was trying to flirt with this guy who worked in the store, this deaf guy, and with Hope and Terra like fighting over the sword and like all their.
That was my favorite thing because those two, they're ready to like legit murder each other.
They are.
It was so much fun, wasn't it?
Yeah,
good fun.
Like I don't want to say it was a soap opera element because that's what Titans is for, but like them being catty and then it turning to, like, no, we're really going to do this. And then Wally just be like, okay, I got to go by. And he goes out the window.
It's funny how you say about being soapy because Wally even cracks that joke. He's like, oh, I was expecting this, but I walked into like a Real Housewives episode.
Yeah, exactly.
So no, it's playing with that. And then even just like them making fun of each other after they hear a recording, like, after the story about Joseph flirting with the guy, and Power Girl has this weird reaction. She's like, but he just had a lady fiancé. And it cuts to Terra just making fun of her. Lady fiancé, oh, you're so innocent. Oh, perfect little innocent.
This issue was cracking me up. Like things like just, Wally sat under the table at the end.
Oh yeah, when he's listening to Deathstroke.
Listening to them, and he's just sat there peeking out.
Yeah, I don't expect Deathstroke to be such a sort of light-hearted, funny book, but this was quite a funny issue. That played upon all the characters.
I love Deathstroke's drawing on the table.
Yep.
His drawing on the tablecloth.
Yeah, and I think because his whole point to Wally is you're trying to like really define right and wrong, and this actually helps out the last issue of Flash for me because I wasn't really sure when we read that issue of Flash and Wally's like, after I've went through it recently, I've sort of realised that I've been too hard on you. This actual issue, assuming it takes place first, which I think it does, it kind of shows how he learned that a little bit more because Deathstroke kind of imparts some wisdom on him. He's like, look kid, if you keep trying to label things as good and bad and don't understand that there's like, give and take, you're just going to like put yourself into this world of absolutes which will end up leading to like bad. Like you'll end up, because I kind of did that. I was all this is right and this is wrong. I joined the army and look how I turned out.
I was 4 years older than you when I made that decision, and look where it led me. So it was
it's good. It's good stuff. And all the stuff with the bullets, he's like, okay, I've got a choice. I can actually either catch the bullets, which will stop them from hitting anything, or I can take out the gunman. If I take out the gunman, then those bullets will hit their targets. And, so there was some fun action stuff in that sense, and then all the funny stuff with the characters reacting to
and the physics of him moving at super speed, and like him taking one route versus the other will mean one of those bullets has time to hit somebody, and now...
Which is why the how they have the headings in this book, where they have each section's heading. I really like the title of the first one, 7.5 people, because it really made me go, what the hell does that mean? And it's later on you find out it's like he can stop 7 and a bit, like or 7 maybe 8 shots, so 7.5 shots have maybe gotten off. So there's some nice touches. Now, of course, the thing that I've danced around though is the ending. because so after he imparts all this wisdom on the team, Wally specifically, and they all give him shit for it, and he's really embarrassed because of they've all heard all these recordings and what he thinks of them all.
I like when he's leaving the room. He gives the answer to the bullets or the shooter. Which one do you go for? And it basically boils down to depends on the type of person you are. Hero goes for the bullets. If you're not the hero, and you go and take care of business.
To be fair, Wally did try to go for the bullets, but he slipped and took out Deathstroke instead because he was on ice.
So he says.
So I believe him.
I believe it.
He's a klutz. I believe it. But he's walking down this tunnel out of the sort of main area, and then there's an explosion suddenly out of nowhere, and then he's like, "Oh, that's right, I forgot I was summoned by the Society." And then we get this full-page spread of the secret society, and some of these members are making me question things a little bit. Because now we have Vandal Savage, we have I need to look at it again.
Makes
actually,
sense.
we got Raptor.
I got it in front of me.
Oh, you got it. So we got Raptor, but the ones who were sticking out to me is like, wait a minute, Reverse Flash is there, who right now is technically dead. Yeah.
And then Killer Frost, who's
was a hero right now in a Justice League team. So that was a bit weird.
Hector Hammond, who
Hector
we haven't
Hammond's
seen
there.
in ages.
He's fair enough though. Yeah, because we haven't seen him, so he's fine. Same with
Ultrahumanite, because you need a gigantic monkey creature.
Of course you do.
Who's
the other person? Someone at the bottom. I'm forgetting.
And then the dude that Deathstroke cut his arm off, and that's what led to this whole society.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and then Black Manta. So
and also there's
right.
the implication that the Riddler's involved because when Deathstroke vanishes when he leaves the room, it leaves just his mask and the little envelope with the question mark on it, green question mark.
So do we think the next couple of issues is going to be the team saving Deathstroke from society?
I don't know. This book's so hard to peg with where it's going.
Because I'm like, this can't be the society. Like,
No.
Are they real? Are they, because like you say, there's too many here that, why this doesn't add up. Like Reverse Flash, Killer Frost, I'm like, okay, so what's going on here?
Yeah, those two stick out, but maybe there'll be a reason. Maybe they're not real. Maybe it's like on an illusion or something. Who knows? But it made for a big page at the end because I'm like, oh shit, all these characters. But no, I like this issue a lot. This was a really fun.
Just a consistently great book.
Yeah, it's a really good character piece and surprisingly really funny. So credit. My only criticism, honestly, of the book right now is that the Claire Willow stuff is like there's so little of that in each issue that every time I get to one of those scenes, I'm like,
I forget about it.
It feels really disconnected. We had this problem before with it was the Rose stuff. Right. Where she was off on her own, and it felt like, okay, this is disconnected. But it came together later. So
it did, and I'm sure it'll play into things. It's just right now because it's monthly and because there's so little of it every month. Like I always like, oh, who's this again? And it takes me a second to think about it. But
I will say I'm really enjoying the team stuff, and it gives me a lot of hope for Priest on Justice League.
It does.
He nails the team dynamic here.
Flash specifically, like him writing Flash using his powers in a fun way, makes me think, oh, he can handle something. I mean, clearly he doesn't like Dick Grayson. We saw that quite heavily. But clearly he does know how to handle at least some of these characters quite well, and these types of characters.
And it's good that Dick Grayson's not on the Justice League then,
Yeah,
for now.
And that's fine. If he doesn't like him, he doesn't have to. He can just stay away, which I think is what he would prefer to do.
Yeah, that's fair.
Who doesn't love Dick?